And looking at what we did last week, we saw a Stripe demo with workflows. Interesting, and I think it has been published on the Lombiq channel, on the YouTube channel. Then we also talked about how we could improve static files management by being able to edit them in the admin, something they wanted. We also talked about a tentative date for harvest, April 13, 17, and I have another tentative date. So let's talk about it right now. I have another one which will open options, and I want you to tell me what you could also do something in end of June. Would it make sense, like last week of June in Europe?
Exactly, in Europe it makes sense because then the weather is
the weather, yeah, we
better.
could go to the north.
Exactly.
North. We could have the London option or the Amsterdam option, locations where it's easy to go, and London and Amsterdam or Frankfurt, you know, these airports where it's super easy to go,
yeah,
from
exactly.
anywhere in Europe, even from the US. From the US, obviously, all these options will be fine, probably maybe better London, Amsterdam. From Europe, it's anywhere. So that might be better. So I'm open also to that personally. It's good to be able to decide that because I can adapt it with my own preferences. Because I usually come to France every year, end of June and July, so that would be the easier for me to go to Europe. So that, just think about it. And
I like,
also,
if I may give my photo, or at least give my preference. June sounds good to me. And then Amsterdam, what do you think, Matthijs?
Yeah, that's
yeah. But London also
maybe. London is also fine. End of June is fine with me also, but.
Spain is harder. It was hard last time to get there.
Yeah, but it was great.
Yep, it's less expensive also. Yeah, and it's not really it's the beginning of the touristic season, but not yet started. End of June, so maybe they still have school. I know in France they have school until beginning of July, so that's good because it's less touristic. And I assume it's the same thing for when does school stop in Netherlands?
I think, and I'm not sure. I know there's a May vacation, but that's only 1 or 2 weeks, and then the big summer vacation. I believe somewhere in July.
Yeah. I have 3 kids, but I don't know the dates.
What?
See?
You don't know
about anything.
Dude. When you have kids, you know exactly when the summer vacation starts.
No. My wife is the planner. I'm just.
Well, but you are at home with them, so you know they're home and you can't work at home and crazy.
I think for England, it's normally the end of July or mid-July.
July.
So end of June is good for for that because not as touristic.
Yeah, so that would be and then can we enter London at that time? And can we leave London? Will there be any issue? Is there any risk also of being blocked by whatever reason? I don't know.
Brexit.
Yeah, it should not be different from next month to June. If shit happens, it will happen sooner than that.
Yeah, it won't.
And Antoine can take the train to go to London, I'm sure.
So the school vacation in Holland is July till mid-August.
You had to check on.
Yeah, I checked on the internet.
Okay, so yeah, so that works for both. That's interesting. And I won't say we can do both, but we've done Amsterdam once, honestly, Silke.
Yeah, it was fine, wasn't it? It was probably expensive, although I wouldn't really know.
I think it was the most expensive done.
Okay.
The hotel was kind of expensive. The room was expensive.
Yeah, everything in Amsterdam is expensive. But of course, it doesn't have to be Amsterdam per se. If you know, people land on Schiphol and then they need to do a little bit of traveling anyway. So if at least there's a good connection from Schiphol to whatever venue we come up with, where it's less expensive.
But there's a Microsoft HQ on Schiphol.
Yeah, but that doesn't help sometimes because these things are not open for conferences like this.
How many people do you expect?
Around 70. Yeah,
70. That should
I
be
think
fine.
in New York we were less than that. Like, but in Amsterdam we were like more than 75 the first time we went.
Yeah.
Because people went from everywhere in Europe. So, and I know in London we have so many devs that want to join. So personally, as a community manager, I would prefer London because we have been to Amsterdam. It's easy to go to London, and
that's true. And we haven't been to London, have we?
No, like remember all the people from Chris's company, Chris Payne's company, I don't know their name, all these guys like Pete, or the guys from Dan, so many people were, Dean also.
Yeah, it's true.
It's close. So they are so.
I think I'm like 7 hours away from London, but I'll make the effort.
Yeah, so many people there that ask for that.
So maybe that should be the first option.
Yep. But it won't be less expensive in Amsterdam, definitely. Well, unless the pound is so cheap because of the Brexit, I don't know.
I wouldn't count on it.
That might be an option. We should look.
I wouldn't count on it.
Okay. So just if people are okay with that, we might do an end of June, London, Amsterdam. That I'm open to that. So you can talk with me on offline or look on the Gitter and talk on the Gitter. Just say what you think. So the meeting is recorded. If you have preferences, just tell your preferences. And if you don't say anything, it means you don't care. But it's better to know who will come or who will not come if we will do it in that city or that city. Sipke will come wherever we do it. He will prefer Amsterdam, but whatever, he's a good English speaker and he's close to his house still. So
yeah, London is very doable.
London or around also, maybe if we have, as you said, when you are in London, you have to travel to go somewhere. So maybe it's outside of London, I don't know, south, west, whatever. There might be also some locations that are nice. Where was the last, there was a .NET conference recently, like these days. I know there is NDC London, but there is a .NET Conf London, something like that, .NET Conf, like last week. No?
I don't know.
Some people from my team are coming back. Let me check. I will check on my phone where they are coming from. This morning, Ryan tweeted about it. I saw that is coming back. So let me check. Give me a few seconds.
It was at NDC London.
They were at NDC London. Okay. And where was that? In London. Or maybe close.
Westminster. London.
Westminster. What is Westminster? Is that a city or a suburb or?
Westminster Abbey.
Yes, right in the middle. Okay. London is Westminster. It's there. Okay, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
So it was very close. Okay. How big is the UK?
Big.
How big is England?
England or UK?
No, England. Like if I want to go there from, I don't know, Portsmouth or wherever. It's not that
It's pretty
far away.
big. It's pretty big.
It's like 100 kilometers here. Like 1 hour to go around. This is 1 hour of driving.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half to get to Southampton.
You're in the south, right, Dean? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm way down the bottom. Cornwall. Keep going, keep going.
Further than that?
Down there by Falmouth.
Oh, wow. It's not even England anymore. It's too far away.
Cornwall.
Interesting. Damn. Man, you have to travel the full country to go to London.
Yeah, it's easier to fly, but it's easy enough.
Can you fly?
Yeah.
You have superpowers. Oh my God. I can't fly. I take a bike or I walk, but plane.
Maybe plane.
Yeah, plane is fine. Okay, good. Look at that. And Antoine is here. Or somewhere. No, he's here. Oop, takes the train. Choo-choo to here. All good. Okay, stop this discussion. We know everything we need to know about that option. Then, did I miss any comments here? Okay, people are saying +1 for end of June. Yeah, it's like end of June is too hot in Greece, so they have to go north to be able to breathe. London, NDC London. Thank you. You mentioned that. I didn't see that. Cornwall. Yeah, Dean, I'm sure would prefer London to Amsterdam, I assume. Then status fork updated. Orchard 1 pooling. We did some pull request merges. We had Matteo online last Thursday. Did we merge the PR? We merged some PRs. Why don't I see them? We didn't merge any PR?
I don't think we actually merged that PR, but I think it's probably sitting there ready to go. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, okay, so then we'll see on Thursday, but I thought we had merged that. So nothing since 28. Okay, interesting. So nothing new on Orchard 1, but there was some PR that wanted to merge, and what Matteo explained the changes, and it was nice talking. Orchard Core pool. So going back to 28 here, preserve core string in language switcher. So if you switch languages, then this is not lost anymore, meaning the core string, if you had some. Carl Abrahams, new contributor, return not found if content item ID is null instead of ArgumentNullException. Changes. So in the display method, so when you display a content item, if you don't pass a content item ID, then it will return a 404 instead of throwing. Yep. Do not instantiate SelectPicker on select. This is a CSS JavaScript optimization, so the selector is more optimized. Adding disabled enabled events. User disabled enabled events. I missed this PR. that a new method? Workflows, user disabled. IUser created event handler. IUser event handler. So refactoring created, disabled, enabled. Okay, looks good. It will break people, but that's okay for now. Add docs to the localization module. Add menu content listing and create option. Add menus, content listing, and create option. What is that? Admin menu. Admin menu. Called content menus. Manage menu. To manage the menus. Content select and can create selected content type. What is this thing?
So what that does is gives a listing of all the menus in the system, because by default menus aren't creatable, but it gives you a list of all the menus in the system, and from there you can create one, which is why I add that. So it's kind of like an override for something that's not creatable by default.
List content model. Okay, that's a view model. Controller can create selected content type. Okay. Update dependencies. New fluid version. I fixed bugs. Mailkit, markdig, and message pack, which we are not using, I think. It's referenced, but we will use it, so we'll keep it referenced. Was there a security issue with message pack? I think. Fix typo in docs, filter admin menu. Filter admin menu.
It allows you to enable an option, a setting. Thanks to this, you can filter the menu on the left quickly.
Control Shift F S A B C D A B C D E F or E. Which key is that? F, Control-Shift F, I'd say. Nobody knows. But the goal is that when you hit Control-Shift F, then you have a text box, and then you can type stuff.
When you check the settings, it's always appearing.
Okay.
On top of the menu.
But if not, you can do Control-Shift F. Right?
It just puts the focus.
But I see this code here. Bind key down. Fit. Oh, it's just to focus. I see. And that's a setting.
Yes.
On the admin. Okay, I like it when it's a setting. With a nice space here. Good job, Antoine. You failed the PR. You can revert it. I'm missing a line feed. Okay, new filter settings. Fix duplicate namespace. Good. Trumbowyg culture direction, fixing a bug. Okay, we trust Jasmine. Make list sortable with ordering settings, so this PR has been merged. We can order. Oh, did you do the change that we talked about during the last demo? That was assigning the order on both published and latest version, so that when you publish or unpublish, you keep the order?
Yeah, I made it so that the draft and publish stay in sync.
Thank you.
There was a little issue with that. There's a PR for that.
Razor helpers. Wow. Wow. So many helpers. Adding unit tests for SM. Who merged this PR? I merged it, I'm sure. This is my PR. I merged. I'm like, okay, it's good PR. Trust me, it's a good PR. So this one, not sure we talked. Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, just replace the email validation by using what MailKit contains, which is beautiful. It's not even using regular expressions. It's an actual parser. And I tried with some very weird email addresses which are still valid, and it works. So when you want to check an email address, use the mailbox address class from MailKit, and it will tell you if it's valid or not. And Isham had suggested, and I think there is an issue for that, to make this a service like email validation service that will use that by default. And this way you won't have to reference mailbox address or MailKit. You will be able to use the service from your tool abstractions. That can be done in a later PR. And I replaced all these email addresses tags so that we can just rely on that in the code directly. And sometimes I implemented the iValidate object. You have a validatable object where you then implement validate, and then it will use mailbox address. So that's just to not have to use email address here. So when it's bound, the validated object will be checked. Super useful. And you can return correct translated messages. Super nice. SMTP, and does it add SMTP? Oh, and also unit test, because some fields we were, that was the original issue. Some fields were not correctly taken from the forms workflow or the send email workflow thing. ControllerModelUpdater or control instead of implementing IUpdateModel. So now when you want to invoke build update or build edit from the drivers, you don't need to implement IUpdateModel because each of them will resolve the interface IUpdateModel accessor if you need it, which will return the current controller if there is one. That's a refactoring from Niraj to later have a PR to fix some placement issues that he's having. Fixing that dynamic overload with async init factory doesn't work. I assume we merged it last Thursday. Yeah, so overload was not called correctly. It's a driver thing. Return null if home route has no values, so null check. Add revision date in the doc. So now each page of the doc will display the revision date of this page. So docs.orchard.net. You go at the end and boom, you know when it was updated. It's super useful, I think. Every blog post also should have the date when it was published to get some context of what version or, yeah. So that's good. Less requirements, but more requirements here. Okay. Only show fields in summary and detail display type, super old PR to prevent all the fields from being displayed automatically in the summary admin. And didn't have to go over every driver to change the default values. Use StringLocalizer in SelectListItem. So did you try, Antoine?
No.
It's okay. You fixed it at least, even if we don't know if it was an actual issue. So the idea is that we talked about it last week. So Antoine made a PR to fix that. When we put some text, localized text into a select list item, we should use a string localizer. Otherwise, the dot value will be encoded, and then the list item, when it will be rendered, will also be encoded again. By using that, this is not encoded, and then the list item can encode it if necessary to prevent double encoding issues. Still safe because it will be encoded in the list item. And Antoine fixed it everywhere we had the bad pattern. Usually when we do something bad, we copy paste it everywhere. It's like a virus, it spreads everywhere. So don't do anything bad so that people won't do it again. Better. Don't release a disabled shell still in use. Okay, still until it's not used anymore. Okay. Okay, so there was a command that said you call return and it was not calling return, something like that. So there was an issue here. Chancery found it. We don't know how and fixed it. Add display mode options to parts. Good job. So now we can have custom display modes for parts. Like you could say, we could turn an example, the titles maybe you could say, you could define which tag you want for the title. That will be a display mode. Or yeah, that's super useful. We had it for fields, but we didn't have it for parts. So that is fixed. Themes, search, views, fix. Oh boy. It's merged. Changing all the themes to provide a view with the search results from the search page. So there is a default version, but now each theme has its own. So it can like have a nice header if like in the agency theme, there is a header. Same thing for the blog theme, you see, including the header. And we have search form, search results. And search liquid, which uses search form. That makes sense. Search results makes sense, and model pager. So if you just want to change the form, you will change this template. Why is this one in shared? It looks like a partial template, but it's a liquid file. So why is it shared? If it's a liquid file, it can't be an MVC view. I don't think we support that. Can we override an MVC view with a liquid file?
Yes.
Who said that?
Me.
Yes, for sure. Jasmin?
Right.
We can. That's a view.
Yeah, you could have put that into views module folder / search.liquid or in shared, which is the same, and it's going to override.
When did we do that? I'm confused. Okay, Jean-Thierry must have done that. He will tell me on Skype.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could do that. Interesting. I thought we could just have shape templates in Liquid, but not that we could override a view template in Liquid. Interesting.
Yeah, because we pass a model, so the model that you.
Technically, I'm sure there's a way to do that, but I didn't know we had done that.
I don't know how it's Jean-Thierry that did this part, so yeah, we will need to ask him. I just tried and it worked, so. Good.
And also a nice thing is that for people who don't know where to put the views when they want to override a view, they could do views. Yeah, the way you did that also is new to me. I didn't think about that. If you put it in the shared folder, it could potentially match any view of any module. And then it will just match it by name. Otherwise, you would have had to put it in your application /view /module name /controller or something like that. Yeah, controller views. But here you just put it in shared, and whoever wants it takes it. If there is conflict, well, who cares? Interesting.
I think there's another one here in the shared folder that does the same. So this is why I did that. So I think it's the user profile. I'm not sure. I need to check. But at least it needs to be the same shape name. So
it's not a shape.
Yeah, it's
not a shape. It's a view template. Shared, not found.
Yeah, this one.
Interesting. 2 years ago.
And I went with the principle that a search page should not be done from any other module. I mean, if you want to override that.
No, that's okay. Don't worry.
You can, but
don't use the search. The search view is now used. Or remove the file and make your own and whatever.
Yeah.
Or put it in your app and prefix it with the correct module you want to override, and that will work even better. So okay, that's good. Good job. With shapes for each of the things that we can override if we want, or just the form, just the results. Okay, interesting. Now we need the page to explain how to do things, how it works, because people won't know. Like a guide. How to customize the search templates, and then you can explain how to customize the form, the results, or if you want to customize everything, this view.
Yeah, right now it's going to use the admin settings for the index that it will use. So pretty much everything is automatically working, but you can change things around also if you want to have things working more your way. Or yeah, because we had also permission to look at, and you need to enable permissions on each index to make this work first.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah, I
Where?
did the dynamic permissions. Yeah, on
What?
the permissions. Yeah.
What? Demo?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, I've not
Demo?
done something really complex,
Oh,
but
demo. I'm done finishing that, and you show us.
Yeah.
Good job. Delete content item, import content optimization, and call update callbacks. You will revert that, right?
I have a PR
No.
that is ready for getting.
To move some things back the way they were.
Yeah.
So I asked to change that on GitHub because, so I asked Michael, what was the point of doing that custom? And he said just to prevent from having to call save and update, or because update was called later or something like that. And actually these things session, prevent from calling multiple times save. So you can call save as many times as you want. It's free. It's just marking a content item as to be saved once the session will be disposed. So there is nothing that happens when you call save. So if you call it 5 times, the first time it will mark it. The second time it will say, oh, it's already in the dictionary of things to be saved. So nothing to do, it's just a dictionary lookup. So you can call it, don't try to optimize. Call save when you think the thing should be saved once the session or once the request is done. And if multiple things will update content item and needs to tell the session to save it, they can all call save. That's fine. So we need to change that.
The issue that I have found, if you have time, we have found that sometimes it's not calling the event handler. So we have things like the auto route that needs to be called from a handler for changing or creating the proper slug for the auto route part, the path.
Yeah.
And this is why he did that, because he needed that.
Yeah, I want to see a PR that explains exactly what the issue is, the context, the repro, and I will probably find a reason to not accept it, which means that it will break something. So I won't accept unless it's very obvious what the issue is and the fix is simple. It should not be merged because I'm sure it will break something else, if not to something else.
Yeah, just check out my PR. We did something last night, and this is quite different from what he did there, which will not break anything. We kept the code as it was on the default content manager, and we did an extension method for what he wanted to do.
Okay. Remove unnecessary code in LuceneSettings. Okay. Add customization options for PagerShapes. What? Why would you put a dynamic here? Why do you need the dynamic here? You don't need the dynamic anymore. You don't need. I'm telling you. You will find a reason. I will tell you nope. Maybe because you saw that this one was dynamic.
No, I needed to change it because it was not working, but I don't remember. It's like last week.
Try again.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe that is what you need, but in this case, use the properties dictionary, which is on the shape. You don't need dynamic. It makes things slower. That's all it does in this case. I assume this is just to add the item tag. Well, or to flow the attributes and everything. And if it was not done, then that's weird. But these properties, attributes, tag, ID, they already exist.
Yeah, it's on the car shape list.
Yeah,
shape,
item
yes.
tag, item attributes, maybe not, but then in this case, don't use the file as dynamic. Use the property of the shape.
Yeah, this is why. Yeah, now you remember me why I used the dynamic, because I needed to affect those values, and yeah, and it's on the list car shape, and if I want to pass them, now you're saying that I can use that with the properties. I'll check.
Yes.
Yeah.
And something like this, which is not documented, is useless. Because nobody will know.
Yeah, but it's on the list. Yeah.
Well, or there is a template, as long as there is a template. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Documentation, you know.
I know. Part of the issue. Import recipe from JSON file. Interesting. Import recipe from JSON file. So you can now pass a JSON file and not just a zip file. So we already had an upload thing, but it could only get a zip file.
Yes. Yes. A zip file with recipe.json inside.
And now you can just send a JSON document and then, okay, I know how to do that. So let me verify something. Temp archive name, temp archive folder. Replace. Get file name without extension. That's a weird way to do that. There's something called, no, I mean, it's just recipe plus the extension of temp archive name, right?
Temp archive name is a path.
But I see. So you just want to change a file name.
Yes.
So what happens that you can't commit this code, you have to change it. What happens if you have recipe in the file name? Yeah, it's dangerous. You should just extract the file name or extract the folder, but don't do replace. Just do path.get file name, get folder name, get name, whatever, but don't do replace. Because if I upload, let's see, if I upload a file with a file name that is part of the temp archive name, like calling AppData, you can then access the recipe folder of something else somewhere. You can trick the thing. So that's, I'm sure I can't imagine how to break it, but people are more clever than me.
If you call it temp,
for instance, temp. Well, you see, you can break stuff, and so don't replace. Just extract the things that you want to extract, like extract the path, extract the folder, extract the file name, put the recipe if you want. Okay. Okay. Then correct directory, move. Okay. Zip and JSON file. So what file is that? Import. We should have it in a hint somewhere that you can put a zip file or a JSON file. Might be useful. Mobile adjustments. Okay, it's all the mobile things. Thank you. And you try on a big phone. Fix.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Differentiators, that's Spanish, right? And is that English? Nah, that's the English. That's the Spanish. So, and I'm probably to be blamed for that because I think I wrote this page. So it's wrong. This is just saying someone will fix it directly in GitHub and push, no PR. Fix path to templates and version of plugin requirements, require unique email message. Thank you. This is something we saw last week. We were missing that. Thank you, Antoine. More specialized default routes. I hate this change. Chantieri, I hate this change. You just patch something to make something else work. I hate that. I'm sure there is a better way to do things, like put a priority on the route or change the order in the collection, but replacing the action by something static, hate that. Fixing database blocking, I'm fine with that. It's just an object could not be, so there is no load document which will return the one to be updated. And there is a get document which is the one that is read-only. That's the idea. Caching issues, Appveyor nuget package build fix. I hated this change, which reverted, so I won't talk about it. Oh yeah, we can talk about the issue. The issue was that the myget feed was full, but not because one package was too big. It's because the sum of all the packages and all the versions we store on the myget feed reached 500 megabytes. Changing one package, the biggest one, won't fix the issue. What we need is to remove some packages. So instead of keeping 9 packages versions, the last 9 ones, now we are keeping 8, and we've been down like this. And yes, the size of our packages matter, but this will not have solved the issue. So now we are back at 380 megabytes. Also, the issue is that it's on an account, quote unquote, my account on myget that also contains yes SQL, free, gin, stuff like this. So I also changed the retention policy for the other packages to a lower value, so they will not increase the space used. So that's one thing. And then now looking for a long-term solution, which is we don't want to pay to host our packages. We are super cheap, but we will have to. So we need to store more than 500 megabytes, right? Because we take a lot of space. Myget's super expensive for that. The next tier is like $400 per year.
I have made a module.
But I don't care about your module that does NuGet.
On Orchard Core that does NuGet.
We have found a
server.
It's very useful, but that's not. It's probably too much from what we need. We found another solution. Antoine and I. We found 2 solutions. The first solution I found, and then Antoine pointed me to another one, was Slit, which is a static file generator that mimics a NuGet feed just for read-only, okay, on an Azure storage. So no maintenance, nothing. And that will be built every time with a CI, because that's something I care about also, Matthias, that from the CI, I can have an API key called .NET push and it works. Can I do that?
With my module, yes.
Can I do .NET push?
Yes.
You're lucky.
Dude, I told you, it's super awesome.
You should do a demo at some point, right?
Yeah, I need to dust it off because it was. We also implemented the myget feed because it was cheaper instead of maintaining the code. Okay.
Then we found another. Well, Antoine pointed me to another solution, and I saw that Hanselman blogged about it, which is Baguette, B-A-G-E-T, but pronounced as the baguette, the bread in French. Is the guy French, Antoine? His name is, I think, Loic something? Oh.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so it must be French. So it must be a great tool. Is French, and it looks very polished, and this is done exactly for that. So it's a web app done in ASP.NET Core 3.1, and then you can define API keys. Like in MyGate, you can define proxying of other feeds, which we do in MyGate to proxy things like ImageSharp or OpenID MyGate feeds. So we can reference other feeds from that directly. And we can host it on our subscription Azure, and we can then add a CDN if we want to make the downloads even faster from everywhere. And this way we will not be blocked by any size, and the price will just be about the network throughput, which should still be fine. And that will solve everything, and we can use all the tools, the net push, and we can have all the retention we want. So right now I'm more inclined toward hosting that baguette. Thank you, Loing Sharma. So also what it means...
Just to comment on the feeds as well, Sebastian, I think there's a pinned version of the last cut of ASP.NET Core 2.
It's just one version out of 10 we have.
Yeah.
So that's
maybe it can go now, maybe not.
I can remove that, that's just a 10% of the size that we gain. So that will still be an issue at some point. So if we move to our own feed, it just means that instead of referencing myget / Sebastian Ross / or myget / Orchard Preview, we can do like packages.orchardcore.net also. And this way we can reference that for the dev feeds. We could even have also the release feeds on this feed, the release package on this feed. So if you want to just have one feed and not use NuGet, it might be faster also, I don't know. But this way we can push directly to that. We also push to GitHub packages, and I looked again, it's still blocked by authentication. So it's not blocked, but it requires authentication. And it has the same limitation of 500 megabytes with 1 gigabyte of transfer, which is small when you think about it. If you have to download 100 megabytes of Orchard packages, let's say 60 megabytes of Orchard packages, after 20 people download it, it's blocked. I mean, you can't do that. So we have to host our own solution and scale with our own user base for the dev branches, and the master branch will be still on NuGet. That's fine. Does it sound right for everyone? We just host our own NuGet packages and our own server, and then done. We still have one URL to add to the feeds. It won't be MyGet, it will be ours. Could also eventually be used for control. It's not a gallery for now. It could be a place to push packages, but we will need API keys, and I don't want to have to handle API keys right now. In this case, we will maybe create a gallery like we did for Orchard 1 using a Mathis module. As long as it's doing the same thing as we did in Orchard 1 with the gallery code that we did. We'll see. But yeah, the gallery we said should just be a directory. So we should not have to host anything. People will find the packages where they are, and then on NuGet probably, or different MyGet feeds, whatever. Yep. So I'll set it up, add it to the CI, and then there will still be MyGet with all the feeds with all the retention that we have of 10 packages. And there will be this feed also that people can use. And after some time, if we think it works better, or it works well, or it works well enough, then we can switch to it to be the default. We don't have to remove the MyGet right now. Okay. And the change in the CI will just be one more line to add, to deploy to this feed, because it's just the net push. So that's the idea. Thank you, Antoine. That was quick. Rename differentiators into differentiators. Boom. Questions, comments? Topics.
Yeah, I was supposed to give you a demo of what we were doing with the Orchard Core framework.
Okay. 10 minutes max?
Yeah, sure.
If you want more, then...
Sure. No, I don't think longer than 10 minutes.
Okay. You can share.
Okay. So, let's see. Share. So, nice. You see my screen? Yes. So,
no.
No. It says
Why
sharing.
you say yes?
Your presentation is ended. Someone else has started sharing.
That's what I got.
Okay, share. Screen one.
MK. Now I can see.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, a bit of background on our company.
It's already boring.
Yeah, boring, but
No, I'm kidding.
it's
Go
good.
on.
It's good.
That's important.
We recently merged 5 companies into TriVest Connect, and those 5 got bought again by ECI.
So you are rich?
No, not me.
Oh.
I'm just an employee. So, so what we make enterprise resource planning applications. So ERPs, I don't know how you call it in English, but we call it ERP. It's kind of like Navision,
Same
but
thing. ERP.
yeah, ERP. Okay. So the problem with our industry is that everybody sends everybody messages, and there's no standardization. So it's error prone, administrative burden. It's not optimal. So we decided to create TriVest Connect. And that has a standard document format, and we are able to exchange orders, invoices via the SCCN. It's a UBL standard, and we provide services so that they can download their messages and whatever. So, what's TriVest Connect? It's based on Orchard Core. We have it's a Kubernetes cluster, and we have OpenID server by Kevin Chalet, and we have let's see what we do. Is we take Orchard Core, the not the CMS, but the software as a service. So only the modular framework, yeah, and we extend it. And when we find interesting things to share back, then we share it back to Orchard Core. So we start developing some modules that we need, and then we have a discussion with me and my other architect, and they say, hey, is this something that could help Orchard Core? Yes. Okay. Then we start giving you PRs to have a go at. Huh? So what is it? It's basically really simple. We have a OpenID server, and don't mind the UI. That's that's my department. I'm not very good with HTML. Okay, so let me show you the admin part. So like I said, this all runs in a Kubernetes cluster. The service that exchanges the messages is Java. It's a Java backend that we use, but all our front end, all our customer facing sites are Orchard Core installations. So yeah, this is the OpenID by Kevin that he made. That's just our OpenID server. We made a couple of recipes or a couple of themes. So yeah, and we use it, and we're very happy. It's very stable, very fast. So What customers can do is they can go to our EDI portal, log in, see, back to acceptance. And they basically, from here, they also have an API, but they can send messages to other customers. And this is just an administrator portal, because in reality, this is all done behind the scenes in their ERPs. And that's what we've been doing the past couple of, I think, 11 months now, or a year almost. And these are messages, so that it used to be emailing back and forth, and now it's just transparent from within the ERP, and they don't have to do anything. Yeah, they have to make sure that the messages get sent and everything. So but it's a standardized document format for the manufacturing industry that my colleague is working together with TNO. That's a large government organization in the Netherlands, and they want to standardize exchanging information between all the manufacturing industry companies. There are like 30,000 in the Netherlands. So to get them out of the emailing flow and typing over orders and things like that. So we are the first that took this idea and made it into a service that we can host. And we're using Orchard Core, like with Kubernetes and Docker images. It's really super easy to deploy and to maintain and to update. So we really love it. And the whole Orchard Core framework gave us, like, especially the OpenID service, gave us like a really big kickstart to start deploying early and adding module after module. We're really happy with it, and
So you need to send some money to Kevin then.
Yeah.
Some euros.
I'll send him love. Is that okay?
Yeah. No, just
no?
money.
Money.
And so do you store the messages in SQL by yourself?
No. This is just a UI on a web service, on a web API that stores the messages in Postgres.
So yes, in Postgres only.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I said in SQL. I didn't say in SQL.
Oh yeah. No, but it's not stored on the portal. It's in a separate subsystem.
Okay.
That's.
And did you benchmark it to send like lots of many messages?
No, not yet. Not yet. We're starting. We're rolling out to the first 10 customers now, and we're looking for like maybe thousands of customers. Then this all needs to be much more professionalized. But for us, it was the choice for Orchard Core was modular framework, the OpenID server that we could just deploy and start using. So,
do you do tenants?
No, not yet.
It's one tenant. Okay, one setup
one default tenant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not using tenants yet, but we have.
It could be a service. It could be as a service, like each customer its own.
We have other projects, like I'll show you maybe when they finish. That's like a Kanban for production floor, like TFS, but for the production floor.
Okay.
And that will maybe use multi-tenancy.
Okay. Good. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah.
Awesome. 10 minutes exactly. So good. Beautiful. Okay, I think we are all done unless someone wants to say something. Questions, comments, demos. Something like that. All good then. All good then. I saw Jasmin worked a lot, and I think also Antoine a little bit on 1.0 issues. So we still have some issues to fix to be able to ship 1.0.
I did P2.
Nope, I didn't say no, doesn't count. Just P0.
Yeah, but you didn't merge it. Oh, just P0. What's it?
No, I'm kidding. I'm not sure even sure there's still a P0. I saw some issues closed because it doesn't repro anymore, or all one are fixed already.
It's P1.
So what did you say?
The
P0, 1.0. What do we have here? Yes, same site non-cookies. I put it as a P0 for 1.0. We need to find a good solution for when it breaks. And I said during the triage last week that I don't want to ship 1.0 until the same site version of Chrome has been shipped and we have found issues and fixed issues. It's too risky. This needs to be reproed or checked. P1, not that many, and P2, maybe more. Nope, 2, and P3. Easy, doable, a week. Every one of us take one bug, boom, done. Can ship.
But you want the ones that are marked with 1.0 and P0 and P1.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I did a P2.
That's okay. P2
that was not what? No, it was not 1.0.
That's
okay.
real.
I did a different P2.
Okay. Let's see. But yeah, please pick some of them. Or just comment on them saying, can we postpone that because you think we can postpone, or it doesn't repro anymore. Documentation can be helpful also, you see. So lots of issues are just documentation and it's easy to do.
Yeah, I'll have a look if I can do the privacy and GDPR thing, because that's also for our solution we need.
Yeah, like at least a minimum module with minimum options, just to have something that might be useful.
That's for the cookie pop-up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a pop-up is necessary, whatever. I don't know. Okay. Also, the tags PR, have we merged that? What's missing on the tags PR, Dean?
I think we just need to merge the driver registration stuff and for the editor modes and what have you, and then I can update the tags PR to use that, and then we can merge the tags PR.
Okay, we need to look into that. That's very important. And I saw your comment that we are working on taxonomies routing or dynamic routes also. So let's see what we can do with that. Awesome features. Great. Thanks everyone for everything. See you on Thursday for the triage, or next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.